Hi everyone! You know what's great about smart home gadgets? They save you when you forget to turn something off and leave the house. No more running back just to switch off the iron. Smart homes are full of these little helpers, smart sockets, smart switches. You control them from your phone or set up automation scenarios, so things just happen. But here's the fun question: can you build smart devices yourself? The answer is, of course you can. Let me show you how. In the last video we played with controlling small DC loads from a microcontroller. This time I'll show you 3 different circuit designs that let your microcontroller control huge, majestic and formidable AC devices. For testing, I'll grab a simple 220 volts 60 watts incandescent bulb and see if I can make it obey the mighty ESP32. Quick reminder, we're dealing with mains electricity here. That stuff is not just spicy, it can be lethal. Please be careful. Alright, before the fancy solid-state solutions, let's start old school with the classic electromechanical relay. It's one of the oldest switching methods, long before semiconductors became common. They are still widely used today in contactors to handle large loads. Simple, robust, and yes, still found in smart switches today. It's basically a mechanical relay driven by a transistor. The transistor setup is the same as in the last video, plus a diode across the coil to tame voltage spikes when it's switched off. Why it's good? The first is dead simple. The circuit uses very few components. In some cases, you don't even need a transistor, if your output pin can supply enough current, in my case about 30 milliamps. Second, the great isolation. The coil and the contacts are completely separate, so your microcontroller doesn't feel the bite of mains voltage. Third, it has low resistance and easy switching. The contacts form a direct electrical connection, so they don't distort current waveforms and work with any signal types without issue. Here is my wiring. Red wire to plus 5 volts for the coil, brown wire for the control signal. The AC terminals are symmetrical. You can swap input and output freely. But it has downsides. First of all, they have moving parts. And it's wear out, and contacts can burn. With high inrush currents, they can even weld shut. Special contact materials help with that. Usually silver-nickel alloys are used. And I saw even mercury-wetted relays contacts. But the problem never disappears. Second, they're slow. Fine for switching lights on and off. Not fine if you want dimming or rapid switching. So mechanical relays are like old cars, simple and reliable, but not exactly fast or modern. Time to check out solid-state options. First up, the Triac Relay. This design is everywhere. I've even seen it in medical gear controlling AC loads. The circuit is tiny, 1 triac, an optocoupler and 2 resistors. But the key part, you'll need special optocoupler with a triac output to handle AC commutation properly. This is an awesome circuit, and that's why. First, they are rock solid. No moving parts, no contacts to burn. Respect the Triac's ratings, and it will last forever. Industrial Triacs exist that can pass hundreds of amps and survive direct short circuit straight from the mains. Second, they are fast. You can switch at precise points within the AC waveform. That makes smooth dimming possible, just like in light dimmers. Third, they are compact, smaller and simpler than the mechanical relay. It doesn't even need its own power supply, just a control signal. Here I'm using only two wires, black and brown. Nice and neat. But nothing is ideal in this gloomy world. It still has some drawbacks. It distorts the waveform. Hooking up an oscilloscope, you can see sharp spikes that slightly deform sine wave at the output. Mechanical relays, in contrast, pass a clean sine without that spikes. It only works with AC. With DC loads, the Triac never naturally turns off, since it requires the current to reach zero. To demo that, I fed it 60 volts DC, enough for the bulb to glow weakly and just stay on forever. Even if I unplug the ESP32, the lamp refused to turn off. The only way is to cut the power supply. Basically, Triacs turn off only when current hits zero. That's actually useful, because it reduces noise. Some optocouplers even wait for zero crossing before turning on, making the whole thing quieter. Now for something unusual. A diode bridge plus a bipolar transistor. Since a single transistor can only deal with current in one direction, the rectifier turns AC into pulsating DC. The transistor switches that instead. You'll need a beefy transistor, 600 volts minimum, and strong enough to handle the peak load. And definitely add an optocouple here. A little PC817 will do, the kind you can rip out of any PC power supply. Here's the tricky bit. This circuit needs its own isolated power source for the transistor side. That makes sense if you have a transformer with an extra winding, but otherwise it's a headache. In my version I tried something weird, just to see if it would work. Also, input and output in this circuit are not symmetrical. This baby is powered from the AC input, so don't swap them or things get funky. And yes, I had some misadventures building it. First, I misfired the ground and wondered why the lamp never turned off. Then I zapped myself on a capacitor, just forgot to add discharge resistor. Finally, the last diode bridge I had was dead. So I summoned the legendary savior of all electronics. Always there when you need it. Overall verdict: clunky, power-hungry, but fun as an experiment. If you're out of Triacs but drowning in random parts, give it a try. Finally, third option, the MOSFET Relay. Here we use two MOSFETs, back to back. Why two? Because every MOSFET has a built-in diode that would let current sneak through in one direction. Pair them and poof, the diode problem cancels out. To show this, I built a slightly chaotic demo setup. I applied about 10 volts to the gate, hooked up a 12-volt lamp with a separate power supply, and measured the voltage drop on transistor. In both directions it was just an 8 mV. Not bad at all. This design is more complex, but compared to a Triac, it offers lower losses and no waveform distortion. And like the relay, the input and output are fully symmetrical, so you can swap them freely. So, today we built 4 switching circuits, 1 with a classic mechanical relay and 3 with solid-state designs. Which one is your favorite? Drop a comment, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and may your boldest DIY ideas come to life.